Hello everyone, welcome to Navdisha. We are here today to launch the Navdisha Achievers Series, which will highlight the success stories of some accomplished teachers. I am Meenu Sharma, your anchor for today. Hello ma'am.
Hello.
I have here today with me a multifaceted personality, recipient of the National Teachers Award given by the President in 2022, physics teacher who writes blogs, co-author of a book, went to the Mecca of learning Harvard to enhance her skills. She's a British Council trainer and she has trained several teachers in India and abroad. She is associated with STEM and is passionate about girls' education. Pew. That's quite a lot, isn't it? Very eager and excited to hear about you, about all this and more, Kavita.
Thank you so much.
So my first question to you would be, what inspired you to become an educator?
It was my mother, obviously, because she was also an educator. And also the fact is that we are three sisters and I'm the eldest. So I was always teaching my sisters. So therefore, I ended up becoming a teacher that time itself. So that's what really gave me passion to become a teacher. And also the fact that when I teach, I see the learning happening in the other person. And when I see that person successful, I feel I have become successful. So yeah, that's the reason.
Oh, that's amazing. That's wonderful. What a wonderful thought that is. My next question to you. What does receiving the National Award by the President mean to you, personally and professionally? And what specific contribution led for this nomination?
So when I talk about personally, I don't know what words to say because honestly, it's like the earth has been taken away from you, because I remember the time when I actually went onto the stage to take it and I'm like, is this real?
Oh.
So,
so you had to pinch yourself?
I had to pinch myself. And I told my husband also, who was with me, pinch me actually, you know. So yeah, it was something that out of the world, because I feel every teacher should experience this. It is actually telling you exactly that the work that you've done is somewhere recognized, and that recognition is, I think, amazing for any person. Professionally, it has given me a window. Today, if I'm sitting in front of you and you're talking to me, it's because of my professional accomplishment. So whatever work I have done up till now with regard to STEM education, it has been able to reach more people because of this national award. So professionally, it has supported me a lot. Also, it has brought forward the teaching profession in a limelight. So I feel very great about it. And what has led to it is because I am very, very passionate about STEM education. So I created a STEM course called as Global Outlook in my school in 2018. 2019, I rolled it out, and it has touched a lot of people. My students are all dabbling into STEM because I realized that as you grow older, girls drop out of STEM.
Oh.
So today, we only have around 29% of the workforce of women in STEM.
Oh, is that?
Yes, and later on, you see girls even moving out of that. So what is the reason? Why is it that girls find STEM difficult? So to make sure that they don't feel this, from first standard onwards, I made it mandatory for both girls and boys to do STEM, so that we increase more and more women into STEM in the future. So that is the reason that I got my national award.
That's amazing. So would you like to elaborate what STEM means?
Yes. So STEM actually stands for Science, Technology, Engineering and Mathematics. And it is basically interdisciplinary learning. It's not that, science is isolated or mathematics is isolated. It is interdisciplinary learning, which is connected to real life. So for example, your toothpaste in the morning. We just take a toothpaste and we use it for brushing. But what is the chemical inside a toothpaste? What is it, the mathematics proportion of all those chemicals? Why is it certain toothpaste you don't use it only, and you're supposed to use it only when you have sensitive teeth? Do you know the proportion? So all that is basically STEM.
Oh my God.
So I wanted people to know that STEM is everywhere. It's not this robotics or artificial intelligence. It is everywhere.
So it's very comprehensive,
Yes.
right? Very, very interesting talk about STEM. I was going through your write-up and I was just wondering what STEM is all about, and of course so many millions of things that you have done, You really stand out amongst others for that. Yeah. So in this age of artificial intelligence, chat GPT, information overload, how do you keep your education relevant for the current students?
So it's very, very important that you integrate all of this into your education. So when AI came in, definitely, I have done my education much before. I don't know what AI is. None of my teachers know it. So what we did is, this time we have an event called as High STEAM, History with STEM. Every year we celebrate it. We have a 1-week event. This time the entire topic was AI in education.
Oh, really?
No, yes. And when you want to do it, the best way to learn is to teach. So we all, first of all, started learning AI ourselves. So I went and first went on the net, went to some courses, did some courses, then went and cascaded to my teachers. They learned something and came back to me. And then we had taught it to the whole school, all the students, and we had a 1-week fiesta of AI in STEM or AI in education in our school. So that is how you integrate it. Whatever comes across, you make sure that you put it into your education so that your students are ready for the future. So that's how I have, now if I ask my students, baby, which AI tool did you use? Did you use InVideo? Did you use Pictory? Did you, what else? So it's not anymore ChatGPT, but it's so many other AI tools that my students now use. And I think I feel very proud, a proud mother.
Obviously, obviously. This only goes to show that the teachers never stop learning themselves.
Exactly.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay. How do you measure the success of your students beyond the academics? Do you think you have been able to make them into good citizens or upright people?
So I'll tell you basically, when I see my students going out and creating projects for the community, I feel that they're doing a fantastic job. So we are very passionate about climate change also.
All right.
And we've integrated it within our curriculum.
Okay.
And I saw my student selected all over from India to go and represent at US about the climate change program.
Oh, wow.
And today he's also a student coordinator for the entire world.
Wow.
So I think when they go out and they make a meaningful connection or meaningful presentation, I think that's a success. Moreover, we don't believe in just an academic report, but we believe in holistic learning. So when I spoke about high STEAM right now. What are they learning? I make sure it is graded. So that grading is exactly what we are sharing with the students. So it's not, a mark related something, it's rubric. For example, did my child show confidence? Did my child show teamwork? Did my child show collaborative work? All that is measured and then presented to the parents. So we make sure that parents are also a part of it. That is very, very important, and that's how we are measuring our students' entire learning.
And this is what leads to the all-round development of the students.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
and they make a mark for themselves later on.
Yes.
Do they ever come back to you thanking you for all this?
Definitely.
Yeah?
So every year we have an alumni meet, and my kiddos come back and they say that, we are happy that you started Global Outlook and we are doing a couple of things across. So yes, I feel very good when they come back and my students want to come back and give a talk to the next generation of students. I think that's the biggest achievement that we have.
That's a wonderful thing. I hope this keeps on going.
Yes.
This alumnus meet and all that.
Exactly.
Yeah, wonderful. So during your career spanning so many decades, you would have definitely come across some challenges.
Yes.
Yeah, so can you just highlight some of them?
So the first challenge that I definitely came across is mindset changes. Whenever you want to bring in something new, nobody likes change. So everybody will somehow give you some kind of obstacle. No, everything is going fine. Why go in for a change? It could come from your heads, it could come from your colleagues, it could come in from your parents. So I have experienced a lot of that challenge a lot when it came to bringing in change within my system or the curriculum. So that mindset change is something definitely I had. That was one challenge. Second challenge personally is because when you are a mother, you are also a homemaker, you're also with your in-laws. So sometimes that balancing also becomes a little difficult for any person. So you don't know whether you look here or you look there. That certain few challenges has come in, but I think with a lot of support from people around, we've been able to overcome them.
So at that time, probably you start wearing several hats.
Yes,
yeah?
very much
You
so.
already have so many feathers in one hat, but then you start changing your hats when you have so many roles to play.
I guess nothing can happen, alone. It is definitely a support of your family and your friends. Otherwise, you don't reach anywhere.
That cannot be denied ever.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. So you have had so much experience. So would you like to suggest any changes in our existing education system so that students get to benefit from it?
I think one of the biggest change that we need to do in education system is somehow elevate the respect for teachers. Because today, if you ask any young generation, which profession do you wish to go? Nobody says teaching. I mean, how many of the bright minds say teaching? So why is it that we are having this shortage of teachers coming in?
Exactly.
And that
exactly.
And these students, this teaching is so important because the quality of teachers impact the quality of your students.
Exactly.
With a population of 1.4 billion that you have, and you don't have that quality of standard of your teachers, what's going to happen? So I think it's very, very important that we make this profession very, very lucrative in terms of monetary also, in terms of exposure also, in terms of kind of professional development. So therefore, young people get attracted to this profession, and we have the best of minds coming in this profession. So I really, on my LinkedIn page, will look forward and show people, it's not just, corporate people who go around the world, even teachers go around the world. I mean, we are called to speak at different conferences,
Wonderful.
so we are equally important. So I keep, driving this. Young people come in, we are amazing, we are doing amazing. So please join this force.
So this is like you've answered the next question partially already, because that was my next question, that there is a reluctance in the youth today when they choose a career. They don't want to become teachers. They all gravitate towards the corporate world.
Yes.
And looking at your illustrious career, maybe you've spoken about it already, you can be inspiring, for the generation to join teaching as a profession, and it will take you places.
100%, and there's so many opportunities today. Honestly, the world is your oyster. There are everywhere. Like recently, I was called in by OECD to share my Global Outlook presentation. I'm part of the entire teaching team. So I met teachers across the globe. And I feel that we teachers in India are also doing amazing work. So when I see things all across, there's so much to take. And when I visited a school out there where entire pedagogy was play, I brought that, and this time I made sure that 1 week for my entire primary was only play. Oh. So there's so much of exchange happening across the globe. So it's no more limited to just school four walls. Now with entire, work from home culture which has come across everywhere, even sitting at home, you can have maybe a different kind of school, an online school. So it's no more limited to four walls. That's all I want to tell the students or the young generation out here. There is so much more.
And there is so much nobility attached to this profession.
I think that's the best part of it. This profession, the kind of love, the respect that we get, no other profession gets. And the satisfaction when your bachas come back and tell you, Miss, do you remember me? So I think no profession can give you this joy, so you have to join the teaching profession.
Wonderful, wonderful. I am getting goosebumps listening to all this because I think all the glitterati has to go through the teachers to reach there. Exactly. So they better not forget the grooming. Wonderful. Now the next question is really interesting. You teach physics.
Yes.
And you also write blogs.
Yes.
You have a Twitter handle.
Yes.
How did this matrimony of science and humanities happen? And how is it going?
So I'll tell you something. I am a physics teacher. And when we used to have invigilation, so you are invigilating, and I used to have these English papers coming to you. So I used to actually solve the English paper while the students were doing it.
Okay.
And that's where I fell in love with the humanities, and I started writing. And when I would write, I had a friend who I would send across and say, how am I writing? And she would say, Kavi, you're improving.
Oh, wow.
And based on that, I started writing short stories. I started writing poems. And I have my own blog where whatever I experience, I want to make sure it goes across to the teachers. So when I finished learning AI, whatever I had learned, I wrote a blog on it, and I shared it with the entire community. I also trained teachers, called across them and trained them for this, because I believe you can't keep it to yourself. It has to go across. Otherwise, it doesn't matter. I mean, it has no value. So the blog is very, very dear to me because I feel I'm able to share my sentiments and my learning with the entire community.
So having a passion is one thing and following it is another. So
Yes.
you have just proven that despite being so tied up and so busy, you can still follow your passion.
I definitely feel so good when I write a love story, because when I write that love story, I feel, oh my God, it's a different aspect of mine which has come across. So
Yeah.
yes, I definitely do.
Great. That's great. You are young and you're full of aspirations. You still have miles to go, Kavita. But looking back, do you get a sense of fulfillment at what you have done?
Yes, if I have to look back to the Kavita 20 years back, who was still learning how to use a pen drive, at that time, because we had those boards and the pen drive and the
Yes.
computers.
Yes,
and today
yes.
when I see a Kavita using AI, I think I have reached somewhere. I also created my own STEM course for educators. So initially I thought I'll take help from somebody to create a website. But I said, I don't want to be dependent on anybody. I did a course, I learned it, I created a course for teachers on STEM learning, and today I've trained more than 100 teachers through the course. So I feel a sense of pride that I have learned across along the way, and I have still a long way to go. I have more to learn, but I feel good that those 20 years back and 20 years today, and who knows 20 years hence, what I'm going to do. So yes, there's a lot to do.
You can definitely give yourself a pat on the back and say, well done, girl. I'm sure this wonderful chit-chat with Kavita will open many doors for the youngsters. It will help them shed their inhibitions when they are choosing a career. I'm sure she has inspired the youth to take up teaching as a profession because it will give you the best of both the worlds. You can go places and you can achieve your dreams wherever you are. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kavita.
I personally want to thank Navneet for this opportunity because it allows my voice to reach other educators. Thank you so much.